Hi, my name is Asawo Ibifuro. I'm the CEO of Cinfores, and I happen to be one of the co-founders of the organization. I'm a typical Port Harcourt boy. I grew up in Port Harcourt, came into Port Harcourt I think in 1983. Got to know myself really well in 1984. Attended St. Mary's Primary School by Lagos bus stop for 1 year, and then was moved to Seashell Model Primary School, Industry Road, all in the old Port Harcourt Township. That's where I started my primary 3, and thereafter I went to Government Comprehensive Secondary School, Burokiri, also known as Compre Boko. I spent 6 years in that school, and thereafter went to the College of Arts and Science, which used to be the School of Basic Studies, to do a remedial course. Thereafter I gained admission into the Rivers State University of Science and Technology. Then presently it's called Rivers State University. So it tells you that I'm a full-blown Port Harcourt boy. Quite a lot of things are taking place in my life in Port Harcourt, from old Port Harcourt Township, where we went to the water side, the Nimbe water side, the Bundu waterfront, and then the prison waterfront. I used to stay at IB Johnson, which of course very close to Lagos bus stop, for those of you that know Port Harcourt Old Township. And we used to play football at the prison's football field, the NPA quarters, the Stella Maris field, and all of that, including the police field. We played football all around these areas. My journey into technology began when a neighbor introduced me to the course called computer science. I'd always wanted to study mechanical engineering from primary school, but a neighbor introduced me to computer science in my secondary school days, and then I began to think about computer science, computer engineering, and finally I landed into the university to study computer engineering, the Rivers State University of Science and Technology, currently known as the Rivers State University. It was in my final year that I met with my friends. We've been friends all along, but we actually sat and then began to think about a venture. That was how our tech venture Cinfores began. It was conceived in April 2001, and then by 2002, 2003 we began to do quite a lot of things. We left for service for 1 year, came back 2004, September 4th to be precise, and then formally Cinfores that we all see today, was given birth to. Port Harcourt people made Cinfores happen. A good number of friends came together to support us. We didn't have financial capital, we had, social capital, and we were able to leverage it. Our friends from primary school, secondary school, all came together for us to be able to build the organization that today has over 150 staff, has quite a lot of resellers and agents across the country, and of course is doing over 10 different services and products across the country. So technology itself is what we think from the year 2001, 2002, when we began to conceive the concept of Cinfores, what we thought would actually liberate us. We thought, how can we build another Shell? How can we build another Chevron? How can we build another Schlumberger? These were the main names that people talked about in our days. And so we felt, if we come together, then we're able to build an enterprise that is actually meant to add more value in the future as regards what we are seeing today, what technology is doing. We thought that could actually, be the way to go. When we started, it wasn't easy. Quite a number of people thought, we'll drop out. But this is 15, 16 years, counting, and God has been faithful, to this venture. From Port Harcourt, we are touching every state of this country and even beyond. From Port Harcourt, we are talking to, the oil and gas multinationals. We are talking to the telcos. We are talking with the banks. We are talking with, all the major payment gateways in the country and all of that. The federal institutions are also not left out, from Port Harcourt. And most times people ask when we go out, are you guys based in Lagos? Yes, we have an office in Lagos, but that's a branch office. Everything you see about Cinfores, products, concepts, solutions, value, and all of that, is actually groomed in this complex you're seeing in Transamadi Port Harcourt. So Port Harcourt has quite a lot of potential. Little wonder, some 2 years ago, we were given an award, as an organization, as an individual, and then of course by extension my organization, by the state during the 50th anniversary of the state. The amount of value we've been able to create, not just for Rivers State, but for Nigeria. And then a month after, we were called to also manage the ICT department of the state, which we've been doing in the last 2 years, doing all manner of things, ranging from automation of MDAs to what today everybody is celebrating, the Reef Tech Week. Cinfores today has over 150 resellers across the country. We are in partnership, creating value for quite a number of the multinationals, like I earlier stated, federal government agencies. Top on the list is JAM. Today we are reaching out to over 2 million students, in JAM, providing content. We've changed the way and manner the JAM brochure has been working in the last 40 years. Today we've done quite a number of things, changing the way, not just the look and feel, but the way technology can actually enhance people looking for admission and then matching students and schools, as it were. That is what we call the integrated brochure and syllabus system. That actually was a brainchild of our organization. We were able to conceive it here in Port Harcourt, and then we were able to sell it in Abuja. They bought into it, and in the last 3 years we've been using this to touch the lives of 2 million students, over 800 tertiary institutions across the country, including the regulatory bodies as well. We manage a scholarship for PTDF. That's one of the biggest scholarships in this country. We manage that for over 6 years. We did the same thing for NIDA for 2 years. We did the same thing. We pioneered everything about the Prestige Scholarship for NUC. Today we are one of the education consultants for the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC. We provide content for them, e-learning content for all their e-libraries and all their ICT centers across the country. We provide content for the Federal Ministry of Education for all the Unity colleges, 104 of them across the country. We provide content for NCC via the Universal Service Provision Funds, for underserved and rural areas, that they've actually deployed connectivity and computers all across the country. We've done that for well over 500 schools, across the country, including even the northeast of this country. We've also done a number of things with the telcos. We did the ClickLight with former Etisalat, now 9 Mobile, the ClickLight platform. The portal, we provided the API for that particular project. We also provided content for the ClickLight devices. The M-Pulse of MTN now currently we also provided API for the content that they are using for that particular platform. We are also working with a number of the payment gateways across the country as well, as their partners and also service providers as well in some ways. And then locally here, we are currently automating the MDAs by virtue of the consultancy service that we have for the state here. We are automating the MDAs. We started with the tax management information system. We did that. That's been running for 1 year now, and then of course we were able to register all the organizations that are operating in the state. Registration is still ongoing. We have over 5,700 organizations that have been registered on that platform based in Rivers State. We have taxpayers, well over 100,000 taxpayers that are also registered on that particular platform. It monitors and tracks all activities around tax, and it helps taxpayers to do what they are needed to do online at a faster rate as well. It's brought ease and then transparency and probity to the entire system as well. Beyond the tax system, we also rolled out the education management information system for the state that coordinates both public and private schools in the state. So that also is in place. Today we know that we have over 4,300 schools, both public and private. Out of that number, we have 1,700 plus that are public schools, and then 2,600 plus that are private schools in the state. So all of these things we're able to put together. They were able to register over 69,000 candidates for the junior WAEC exams, which is known as the basic education examination. We were able to register over 69,000, and we're able to generate over 300 million for the state government, through that particular project. We have another one that is for the health sector that is piloting now with the Rivers State University Teaching Hospital, formerly known as the Braithwaite Memorial Specialist Hospital. Today we are running, this is the third week of that pilot. The concept is to ensure that all public hospitals in the state are all automated in their activities. So patient records, payments, and so on and so forth are all automated. The concept is to ensure that people can roam from one public hospital to the other without opening new files. Okay, that's the ultimate goal of this particular automation that we're doing, and then it brings about probity, it brings about transparency, and then of course most of the leakages that I experienced are also blocked in the course of it. We think all of these will improve service delivery in the long run. We're also doing the same thing for the courts. So in the new court year, lawyers will be filing their cases electronically. We think all of these things will add, value to the way and manner we live and work in Rivers State. Of course, we'll get down to the play side as well, what we are doing, trying to also ensure that play activities are also, automated. Beyond that, there are some things that we're doing for the urban development and physical planning ministry. We are doing some things for the transport ministry. We are doing some things for, the agric ministry. There are a few things also done for RISA, so BOPP. So all the MDAs of government, the mandate is for us to see how we'll be able to automate them. The concept is to see how e-governance will be the order of the day, where we have government to citizens interaction seamless and citizen to government interaction or government to business interaction seamless. So we are working closely, with the state government to ensure that all of these things happen in the public sector. And I think to a large extent, quite a number of people in the private sector already applauding the concept and embracing it, seeing that it is bringing ease, in the way governance is carried out and also in the way business is done in the state. But how do we make all of these things sustainable will be what quite a number of people, would ask, once they hear that, okay, government is actually going how do you sustain this? People will be asking about power issues, people will be asking about capacity development issues. What about even the technical people that will support, the big data that will be emerging out of these automation activities? And the answer is the Reef Tech Creek. So we've been able to put Reef Tech Creek together. The concept is that we want to see how Port Harcourt, River State, will be the content hub of sub-Saharan Africa by 2023. In the last 1 year, over 1,000 young people have been trained to, in various things around coding, games development, animation, database administration, networking, and so on and so forth. Partners like PIND, the Partnership Initiative for Niger Delta Development, have been also been handy. Some of the multinationals and banks are also coming in now to see how they can partner with that center to see how we'll be able to achieve what we have as a goal, making Port Harcourt the content hub by 2023. Now, the people that we are training out of, Tech Creek are coming up, supporting and building most of these solutions that we are talking about. The health solution, for example, the core team is actually from some of the graduates of the first set, of the co-geminators. And so we are having these things, snowball gradually for us to be able to, have self-sufficiency within the state. And then by extension, we will reach out to other neighboring states and then the country at large. So Reef Tech Creek has that mission. That's the mission. Now, during the holidays, we are also bringing up the young ones who want to create a spark. In my own terms, is basically to create a spark. Is to put something in their hearts that will never leave them wherever they go to. So that's the kind of experience we are giving these young ones. 1,000 of them, we are having this year. Last year we had about 600 of them. During the Easter break this year we had about 500 of them. Now in August, this long vacation, we're having 1,000 of them that are coming, to this particular venue called Reef Tech Creek to have the basic exposure they require in terms of robotics, coding, graphics design, cybernetics, UAVs, and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, we think, they will begin to think technology as they grow. So whether they become doctors, they become lawyers, they become engineers, or they are even techies, they will grow with the concept of IT in mind. So that's the overall vision that we have, so that in the next 3 to 5 years, the story within the region will be different. The narrative will be different. If you get down to the creek, you'll see everything we are doing there is, about the creek itself. The rivers, the halls are, named after rivers that are within the state. Instead of us to say come partner with us, we say come paddle with us. The whole concept is to sell, our creek story and make people understand that beyond the restiveness that they've known the creek for, technology, new innovations, and creativity can also emerge from the creek. That is our creek story from Port Harcourt. So one of the great concepts that has also emerged in this region is what is called the Start-up Port Harcourt. I see it as a regional revolution. So it's not something that has to do with just Port Harcourt alone. I know that there are people within the region and even outside the region that are benefiting from the activities of Startup Port Harcourt. And so a good number of these things that we have talked about and many more will be talked about by the time we meet at the Startup Port Harcourt conference in October. We'll be gathering there to x-ray what technology will be doing beyond oil. We know everybody thinks about oil, but we see oil, becoming a thing of the past as new areas of energy begins to emerge. People are talking about how they can use water as fuel. People are looking at solar, as fuel, and other forms of energy. And so gradually we know emphasis on oil will be reducing, but emphasis on technology will only evolve into higher things that we are talking about today. People are talking about nanotechnology, people are talking about AI, people are talking about augmented reality, and so on and so forth. And we know that's where the future is actually taking us to. So Startup Port Harcourt conference in October will be dwelling on this set of things that we are looking at. Beyond oil, what technology will be doing for us. And so we'll spend good time to discuss what we are doing and how we are preparing ourselves as a state and as individuals and as young people in this region, so that whether there is oil or not, we will thrive as a people. Thank you.